Hello, everybody, and welcome to another My Music. It's another week, it's another day, and whatever it is that you're doing out there at the moment, stop doing it and make way for listening to myself and Lisa today, who's coming from
Brighton.
Brighton, all the way down
Hello.
there on the southeast coast. Of course, when I said that, stop doing what you're doing. Of course, if you're driving at the moment, don't stop doing that. Just for safety reasons, that would be really, really quite silly. Because some people do. They listen to this, Lisa, while they're driving around or should I say, parked on the M25, the biggest car park in the UK. We will be back to talk to Lisa about her life in music straight after this.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Lisa Osborne from Brighton.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi. Oh yeah, I'm good, thank you. I have had a really busy few days. So it's lovely just to sit down and have a chat with you. You're so calming. But I've just had to organise a huge party for my 5-year-old.
Oh, cool.
And I've been doing that for the past week. And then I've got a single coming out tomorrow. So I've been trying to deal with everything there and make sure everything's ready and prepared. And
cool.
How
many people are coming to the 5-year-old's party?
Oh, we had it on Saturday.
Oh, you had it on Saturday?
Yeah, we had about 50 people.
Wow.
That's adults and kids, and a huge bouncy castle. And I did all the food, which I would probably never do again. But
yeah.
I'd say get someone to either help you, get people to help, or get a caterer, get it all done, because the stress is not.
Well, I'd never thought about this until this moment. But what you could have done, you see, is you could have had a combined 5-year-old party and single launch party all in one.
Do you know? Yeah, I could have done.
What you could have done very sneakily. You know those little party bags that you do for like the kids when they have those parties.
Yeah, we had party bags.
Yeah, party bags. You could have had either on the bag printed like a QR code for your single, or like something in the bag with a QR code. Yeah, it could have been.
God, that would have been a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, next year. There's always next year.
Next year.
to do this.
What's your child's name?
Oscar.
Yeah. Next year for your 6th birthday, Mummy's going to do a single launch at the same time, just because it doubles up on. Just doubles up, you see, and then it could be great. And anyone that's watching this who knows Lisa and came to the 5-year-old party, that's what you're going to get next year.
This is such a good idea. I'm getting ideas for it already.
I think.
And then
because
the adults can get on the bouncy castle.
Exactly.
And then it's
that's what you want.
I love this idea.
Oh, I love merch ideas and like, well, I run a marketing company outside of doing this, so like ideas for being creative with musicians and trying to get them, thinking creatively about how they promote their music is always good as well.
That's actually quite a good idea, because I don't really promote my own music enough. I am doing a little launch party actually with because I've just started another band, a country band with someone else, and we're doing a little bit of a launch party tonight. But something like that, you could really go for it, couldn't you? Like all the parents are there, and and it's quite a subtle thing to do, isn't it? Like drop a little code into the bag, and then people can, and then you're not talking about yourself too much, because they can just find it when they
the kids are like, what's this, mummy? What's this QR code? I don't understand. What do I get with that? There you go. But there's so many different ways. I reckon this will be part of the future as well. I did a little video for this on my Instagram the other day, but These.
Oh, right.
I reckon these will be part of the future of merch as well for artists.
What is that?
Well, but it's an audio lollipop.
An audio lollipop.
It's an audio lollipop. You can only hear it. You can only hear the music if you've got it in your mouth, because it uses your
That's crazy. That's
Right.
crazy.
So you press a button and it
I don't know about this.
plays the music that's on the lollipop, right? But it plays it. It uses your skull basically to amplify the sound. So if you're sucking the lollipop, you can hear it. Nobody else can.
Is this a real thing that exists?
This is a real thing that actually exists.
I think this might be what's been missing in my life.
It's great, isn't it? I mean, now you see that would work if you could get those. And I'm sure at some point someone will make these cheaper as well. But if someone could get those and you could put that in a party bag, and then like all the kids would be like and humming along to your tune, and mummy and daddy would be like, "What's that tune you keep singing?" Well, glad you asked me.
So it's a bit like a kind of, the idea is silent disco, but you're kind of, you won't hear anything unless you've got it in your mouth.
It's very silent disco.
Yeah. You take it out and then the music stops.
Yeah, I do love a good silent disco as well. Do you?
Do you know, I always see, I see them a lot, and I used to see them because I used to work in a really busy place where they would happen quite a lot, and I would see them thinking that I really want to get involved and try it, but I haven't yet.
Oh, you got to do it.
Yeah,
we did it for the first time at a festival last year. Well, no, 2 years ago. 2 years ago now. And I just love it. I love the fact that like part of the fun of it is before you get there is you can almost try and guess what it is that people are dancing to, right? Because people are like throwing all these shapes and whatever, and you're like, I reckon that's like 70s disco. And then if you get it right, it's like, yes, I knew it was, it's good. It's good fun.
And I think as well, everyone looks so in the zone. Like no one, even without the music, I always think that like people, they don't look silly. They just look so in the zone and cool, and like just makes you want to go and do it.
Yeah, until you realise that actually they're listening to something completely that doesn't fit their dancing, and then and then it could be quite funny.
Yeah, I see them a lot in the festival.
Tell us about your music. When did you first start writing music?
Wow, I've always done music. My dad was a musician. He was a country singer. He's not alive anymore. He died when I was 13. So yeah, many years ago. But I've always been involved in music and had grown up in a musical house. And he always encouraged me to do music and to sing. But I didn't actually start writing my own music until I was in my late 20s. I've always sort of sung with people or for people, like done a bit of session singing for people. But I started writing a lot later, and I would say I've sort of played live a lot, but I've only released my first single coming out of the second lockdown, which was only a few years ago. But prior to that, I would play with other people and always get involved, but wasn't really fully developed as an artist. So I would say I'm a lot more developed being an older artist, and I feel sort of more comfortable as an artist now, and being slightly older, whereas I was never really confident enough sort of throughout my 20s to do that. I did, but I never really had many songs, and just did live performing, but didn't really have the confidence to do much of it. So always felt more comfortable getting involved with other people. And I met someone about 10 years ago, Joe Watson, who's in a band called Stereolab, and started working with him on a music project. It was all analog, it was all live, and he really got me thinking about music. He really got me thinking about sounds and what I would want to hear on a song, and would just say, go on then, go and do it. And, you know, pick up that drum, have a play, and got me working with all the instruments and the percussion and things like the rain drum and the thunder drum and things I'd never used before. And got me using the machine as well. So he took a real step back and we became friends. And, you know, like a lot of the time in the studio, producers can be quite dominating and sort of want to be in control quite a lot. He took a real step back and sort of said, you know, what can you hear? Do you want to try that? And sort of, I felt that I was in a space where I was allowed to really experiment and play around with different sounds. And it was okay. Some of it worked and some of it didn't work. And that was all part of the process. And we used things like Buddha singing bowls and just a lot of percussion, but it was all very live and analog. And it was lovely. And it was a very, the sound on that project was very sort of Wicker Man, very raw, very folk. And that was when I really sort of came into myself as an artist and started to find my feet as a folk artist. And yeah, that was what opened up my world to being a more independent artist as well. Like he always said to me, like, try and do as much yourself as you can, you know, get out the kids' instruments, get out the, you know, use a chair as a drum, you know, he would just sort of be like, you know, use anything for music. And I think that was a real,
that to me is the mark of a good mentor or coach or whatever in anything, is that they don't like, you know, just tell you stuff and then expect you to go off. They kind of just encourage all of the time, and they just like show you that you can do it, right? And then sort of build confidence as you go. You must have been, so you were making music when you were younger, but then were you making music all of this time then? And then, because how did that opportunity unlock itself? You must have been in a space for that to be unlocked at that moment in time.
Yeah, I met a few of the guys from Stereo Lab from the course that I was doing in my late 20s in London, and then I realised one of them lived in Brighton because we kept crossing paths, and we sort of got chatting one day, and I was like, oh, I know your bass player, like, you know, he does a lot of recording in the college and we've done some stuff together, and he sort of talked about at the analog project that he wanted to do, and it was it was a really good opportunity for me to record some of my songs that I'd written and to sort of get different instruments on them, and it flourished from there, really. We still work together now. We've got a song coming out in a month, which we've done, and it's always lovely to work with him because he's always so inspirational and just allows me the space, really. So
how much has your recording technique moved on from that as well, though? I mean, are you deeply rooted in the digital world now as well?
I would say it's not so lo-fi, not so analog. It's probably a mix. It's definitely got a lot more hi-fi. But yeah, I definitely found my style from working with him. And it's kind of just progressed from there, really.
Yeah.
It's become a lot more sort of country tinged, I would say. I'm a lot more folk neo. And I can write songs quite quickly now as well, whereas I always struggled writing songs. I'd write like one song every few years, and always, I would say I was blocked quite a lot on and off as an artist over the years. And only recently, during that coming out of that lockdown period, I something happened. I think having a child, actually, a few things happened all at the same time. I fell ill, which changed my life. I was very unwell and I had to leave my job. Didn't make it back to my job, and then recovered from ME, chronic fatigue. Recovered and then got better, and had a baby like a year later. And it was around that time, and then after I had Oscar, there was lockdown. The first lockdown happened like 6 months after.
Yeah.
So actually that period, although it was a very scary and daunting time for the whole world, it was actually the turning point for me. A lot of positives came out of that. My life changed. I sort of recovered. I just started writing loads of songs, and where I'd left a quite a demanding job that I was in, for me it was quite demanding and a lot of strain on my nervous system. So I spent a lot of years not writing and not having the space to. I suddenly had all this time and all this space, and everything felt very quiet and still, and I was just at home snuggled up in babyland for a good few years, and that's where I did a lot of my writing. So it was around the first lockdown, and I would say having the encouragement of my partner really helped as well. He's sort of very encouraging with playing, and would always help with recording, because I'm quite 70s even now, and find all that side of things quite difficult. So he helps with all of that. But that was the time when I really started writing a lot of songs. I really slowed down, and it was a time where I really came into myself as an artist and really used the whole writing as a therapeutic process. And I think that's always the case. I think writing songs, it's always a therapeutic process.
So how much motherhood and the illness and whatever is intertwined in what you write about, even if it's not obvious?
I think honestly, I think it always helps to have something that just shakes you up, and then using that in a real positive way. It always helps. But I think ultimately when we write songs, when people write, when we create, anything creative, I think we are always working through, on a subconscious level, the same few issues. And that might be why my songs all sound the same. Is that they're all like, well, similar. But I kind of think you never really resolve anything through the process. And I think for everyone it's different. Like consciously, you can be a character, you can be writing about something like it can be about anything. And a lot of people say, I've heard a lot of people say the song's not really about anything they understand or anything they know about. And I think you can write about different things, but I think ultimately everyone's trying to resolve the same few issues subconsciously, whether we know it or not. And I don't think they ever get fully resolved. And I think that's the therapeutic process of creating.
Yeah, no, I do too. I mean, you've got a sound, and it's a lovely sound, and a beautiful voice as well. Do you, somewhere within that now though, do you feel at some point you'll push yourself to shake that sound up? Do you feel like, and if you did, where would it go?
Yeah, that I'm really loving this question, because like questions like that always get me thinking about shaking things up and about moving and changing. And I always feel like like I've got 2 songs ready to come out, one out tomorrow and one out in a month, and I feel like I've already moved on from those songs and trying something different already, and I feel like I'm always moving on from the songs that I've done and that are coming out, but it always kind of it always takes a while for it to actually to record and for it to actually happen. And but I feel like the sound's already changed from maybe from what you've heard, and I think that's down to a lot of, like, you know, finding new music and things that I listen to. Like I was really inspired by like I recently watched Daisy Jones and the Six, and I love the music in it, and I absolutely love that whole 70s sound, and I feel like I'm sort of going down slightly down that road a bit more, like really experimenting with a slightly more heavy sound and slightly more produced. I've also got a couple of other songs that I'm doing, which is the opposite, which is like I've got one on ukulele I want to do, analog, going back to the whole analog thing. And I think what is also steering me towards the analog idea and going back to the live sound is AI and the way things are going, and sort of I feel like I want to take my music back to a more raw sound because of that, and that's also got me thinking about sort of doing more live performing. I mean, that's the one space that AI can't get into, is the live space. So I'm also thinking about getting back into doing more live performancing and, you know, keeping it very intimate. And I love the idea of getting the audience involved, you know, like having an interactive gig where it's an immersive experience. And I think maybe I got that idea. I've had that idea for a long time, actually, of just wanting to kind of like feel really connected with the audience, that human connection that you don't always get from hearing a song, you know, hearing a recording. I really want to go back to that sort of connection, you know, that being around a campfire vibe, you know.
Well, you see, I think once you start thinking about, and it's an interesting game in a way, because if you think about the audience and how these songs will work live when you start writing songs, there's always a danger that you then write for the audience, not for you.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, I feel like it then sometimes can inform the writing, because like if you want that to happen, for example, an immersive experience, then there needs to be something in the structure of the song to enable that to happen. And I don't think that's wrong at all. I mean, it's like, I mean, if you take it back to like some of the roots of where music came from as well, if you take it back to things like worship songs and whatever in church or whatever, if you wrote a worship song and there wasn't any kind of way that the congregation in that respect couldn't actually interact with it, right, then it just wouldn't work, would it? If it was just performance, it wouldn't work as an audience piece. So, you know, I feel like when you're then writing stuff in that space, if there's something where people can repeat something, or
Absolutely.
they can clap their hands here or whatever, then it's that's what then brings them in, and then that informs the structure, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it could be a hook from a chorus, or just having, you know, an instrumental space where people can sort of, you know, just bring in like instruments, but it just something like, you know, even like a triangle or a, you know, a rain drum or something, or just a shaker, you know, just the idea of just having instruments around where people can pick them up and get involved. That's or cool. They can sit back if they like. And you know, or they can sing, you know. I love the idea of an immersive gig, immersive experience where you don't really have the stage, where you've got the band on the stage, you've got the whole gig starts from the center and you've got everyone around, you know, like, and everyone's involved. And
if you do it, what you've got to do is you've got to plant people in the audience, though, if you do it in England.
I thought of this, and I did
because the English are just too shy.
You're right. I know. I did think of that. Yeah.
It is. I mean, honestly, I mean, like even sometimes I go to like gigs where, like, you know, the band are like full on and you know, it's really dancing, whatever, and then you get people that and they're just stood there like.
I know. And I thought about that as well, and I thought I could start the idea of it being an immersive gig, but if I sense it's going to fall flat because the audience aren't having any of it, I've got to have a plan B.
Yeah.
You know. And it would be maybe it's not so much, but I think that's where having people planted in the audience would really help. Definitely.
Yeah.
Such a good idea.
or maybe it's to do with the warm-up though as well. Maybe it could do, maybe you need a great warm-up for that as a gig. So maybe like the starting experience of people coming into that gig is before you even come on, is perhaps you need someone there in the audience that like sits around with people and goes, right, we're just going to do some very simple drum patterns or something on whatever you've got in your hand now, and I'm gonna get you to come in one by one and just join in. Just don't worry about it. Just join in with one shake or whatever, and you just need to warm people up to it, because I feel like that's something that perhaps doesn't happen enough as well. Sometimes when people want to get people going, I feel like that's a great job of a great warm-up act. Even on like a, you know, a standard gig, is that if they warm the audience up and make the audience like start to get involved, then that they've done a really good job for the main act.
Exactly. I know, and I think it's a really difficult thing to get right. That was why I was like, I haven't done it yet. But it's something I've had in my mind to do for a long time, and when I've been at a gig and I've seen it done really well, it's amazing. It's brilliant, and you come out feeling like the way you want to feel, that total connection. Because I think sometimes I do feel like I'm at a gig and I kind of leave feeling like I wanted to be involved a bit more, and I don't know if that's because I'm an artist, or I don't know if, I don't think everyone necessarily feels that way, but I know it's a common feeling. Like, I know that sometimes that connection isn't always there, and I don't know, sometimes you've got the stage up there and the band aren't quite with the audience, but I know when it has happened, it's been the best thing. It's been just so amazing, and I feel like I want to do that with people. I want to create something that's immersive.
Okay, well, I've got a really good idea for you. Okay, because I have these really good ideas. What I think you should do is you should start now with community, right? Yeah. I think that's the crux of this. I think this is what will get this right. So I suggest what you start doing before you even take it to that level and release this music that's immersive, and you do these immersive things or whatever, is that you should start a little Lisa Osborne tea and drum group, right? Where you literally meet with a group of people, and it can start off a very small group, meet with a group of people once every so often, and you just do tea, chat, and then you have like a little drum session or whatever.
I think that's a really good idea.
And build this little community, so that then like 6 months or wherever down the line, when you then unleash, right, what you've got is you've got this little group that can come to this thing.
Yeah, it's a really good way of doing it.
And get this,
and the connection's there already before you've even started.
Yeah, but then you can then build on the connection, because then when you start doing it, and you can say to other people, hey, if you'd like to join our little community, and you know, and then it can grow. and it can become its own little thing, and
Yeah.
it'd be marvelous.
That's a really good idea. Maybe you can come and join in.
Well, yeah. Apart from I live miles away from Brighton.
Where do you live?
I live in Somerset, so it's the other side of the
Very
world.
far. So
Yeah.
it'd have to be a holiday then.
It would have to be a holiday. Otherwise, I'd be totally there. Listen, Lisa, it's been beautiful talking to you today. Just before you go, and I do want you to tell people where they can go and listen to your music. I know, because I've had a listen already on your link tree. There's things to like Bandcamp and whatever, which is great. But I've interviewed several people who are musicians down in the Brighton area, and some of them have had the most amazing stories about musicians that they've run into. Now, you already mentioned Stereolab, but have you run into any other musicians? Have you got any other stories for us of any other musicians you've run into in the Brighton area?
Not that I've just run into. I know. I always feel like I'm name dropping. Do you know this thing about?
That's allowed, because I've just allowed you to do it. Yeah, right.
Thank you. Not that. I mean, I know I'm friends with Martin Rossiter from Gene, and he's just started performing again with Gene. And
get that hair right. Has he still got the hair?
His hair's quite short now.
Yeah.
Where I bump into him all the time because he lives just up the road.
Wow.
And we always have like really good chats when we bump into each other. We always mean to like go for coffees, and haven't done yet, but he's really busy. So Gene had just started performing again. Just this morning saw they've just played the Apollo, and he was telling me he was like, oh wow, it's going to be such a massive gig.
This is so cool. Right, listen, Martin, if you're listening, right, you need to come to the very first inaugural Lisa Osborne tea and drum thing, right, as just a Kickstarter, and then she can tell people that Martin from Gene will be there. And like that will get loads of people there, and then that will really kickstart the. Just do that for Lisa. That'd be marvelous, and you can have tea at the same time.
I might message him.
There you go. There you go. Wow. It's great. I love the stories. Yeah, we had John from Sleeper, who's based at Brighton. He gave us a great story because he met Brian Wilson in the laundrette in Brighton.
Wow!
Imagine
oh my goodness. That story sounds amazing. You've only my partner's running to the front door to grab a delivery. That's all you had to say, and I was like, that story just sounds amazing already.
Well, listen to the podcast.
In the laundrette.
Listen to that episode, and then you can get the full story.
You'll have to send me the link to that. Which one is that?
It was John from Sleeper.
Oh,
the band
wow.
Sleeper.
Wow, yeah. That's amazing. So another, he's a comedian, Joe Wilkinson.
Oh, right, yes.
He has got a podcast called Chatterbix with David Earl, and I've been on their podcast a few times. That's something that's been really good. And quite funny, because I was in like they did this thing like a battle of the bands, which was kind of a bit of a, I mean, I don't know how much people are going to hear, but it was a bit of a comedy thing. And I would say I didn't know Joe at this time, but then I realised after the first podcast, because I entered it and I came third, I then kept bumping into Joe Wilkinson and realised he lived literally across the road. And we sort of became quite friendly. So he's played me on his pod since, and talked about me quite a fair bit on the pod. And that has actually made quite a difference. A lot of people messaged me and said, I heard you on the pod, really loving your stuff. And that's been really nice. But again,
I'm jealous, right? And I'm jealous, right? And actually put in a good word, because I'd love to do more comedy stuff. Because I started off in comedy. That's where I started many years ago.
Of cool. Yeah. So you're not doing any comedy anymore?
Well, I only just like, being funny on things like this, and various other podcasts that I do and whatever. But I'm not doing anything that is strictly comedy. Do you know what I mean?
I think comedy is one of the hardest things to do. Like, I don't know how people do it. I always think it's...
Well, it's easy. It's easy. If you've got a brain like me, it's really easy, because basically you just allow your brain to switch into saying whatever your brain is actually thinking, and then not
no
worrying
filters.
not worrying about the mouth bit. And once your inner monologue just seeps out, it's fine. What actually, this is harder because I'm having to hold in my inner monologue sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Let it out.
No.
I want to hear it all.
But yeah, no, it's great. But yeah, no, I used to write radio comedy as well for a while with a guy called John Holmes, who he might not have heard of. But he wrote a lot of the like Radio 4 comedy stuff and whatever.
Oh, right.
And we were very naughty, and we got told off a lot, which is great. The more you get told off, the more you realise that you're doing it right. That's the way with comedy. Yeah,
definitely.
You should get told off.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
So Lisa, just before you go, so if people want to listen to Lisa's music, it's all available out there for you to behold and take away with you. And where do people go?
I'm on everything, basically, all the usual streaming platforms, Spotify, YouTube, Deezer. My link tree is always at the top of everything, so you can get to everything from there.
Good.
On everything.
That's the way to do it. Ha ha. I like it. If you'd like to speak to Lisa, find out more about her music, get involved with the drum club, which will be starting. I know, because
I'm loving this.
It's my idea. Or if you're a party bag manufacturer and you would like to sponsor Lisa for next year when she puts her QR code on on Oscar's 6th birthday bag, please get in touch. Thank you, Lisa, for coming in today. It's been absolutely marvellous having you here. This is the wonderful Lisa Osborne, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back soon with more My Music. If you've enjoyed this, then please do go and share with your friends and family. If you haven't, then sorry for wasting your time. You can now just count the days until you get your time back. That might happen. It might not. We will be back soon with more My Music. But until then, from Lisa and myself, bye for now.
Bye.